What would you say? When was it? 80s, 90s, early 2000s, the 10s, the 20s? I mean, 20 a bit longer.
Yeah, I always have
When
a
was the
very
spike? When did it start to skyrocket?
yeah, I have a very bad memory for dates, but I would because I'm trying to remember. So at CMU, for example,
Yep.
we the way it happened at CMU was we first formed a center called the Center for Automated Learning and Discovery. This was, I'm trying to remember the year. I'm going to say it was about 25 or 30 years ago. I don't remember exactly. It was my colleague Tom Mitchell in computer science who had this idea that there was this new thing happening in computer science, and he actually approached my late colleague Steve Feinberg, and the two of them were the ones who started this center, which I then became involved in. It was just a small group of us from statistics and computer science, and that eventually grew into became the machine learning department. And this was reflecting what was going on all around the world. That it was CMU was kind of a hotspot for this, but it was happening everywhere. But I would say, yeah, 25, 30 years ago is when that kind of started, and it just gradually took off.
Okay, cool. Well, for the normal citizen, it's only started now in the last few years to really get interesting, because the commercial viability and all of these little trinkets and gadgets that work now came out, that I'm a bit curious about. I think everyone who's looked into the topic at least a little bit finds all of these memes and the issues with, well, machine learning is just statistics. It's just nothing else, just a mask with a cooler name, but the basic is statistics. What would you say is there a difference? And if yes, what is really the qualitative difference between machine learning in itself and just statistics?
Yeah, they're very, very similar. I've taught courses, and I teach courses in statistics, but I've taught courses in the machine learning department. And I often start one of these classes and trying to explain the similarities and differences. And one of the jokes I usually make is, if I'm teaching in Baker Hall, which is where the statistics department is, I call it statistics. And if I'm teaching in Gates Hall, which is where the machine learning department is, I call it machine learning. But there are, I think that there are differences in focus. I think machine learning tends to focus a lot on the task of prediction. Like, here's an email, can you predict whether it's a spam or a real email, that kind of thing. And also the focus in a lot of machine learning, of course, is in scaling things up, making them work on really big problems. Whereas statistics, I would say, views prediction as one task within a bigger set of tasks. And although we do work with large problems sometimes, it's not as large a focus as it is in machine learning. But they're both about analyzing data ultimately. So in that sense.
If you like this clip, watch another one. And if you want to see the whole interview, click here.